2, 1.
Hi, welcome back to Show Me Tracks. More stuff for the Suburban. I think I showed you I got a T5 tranny, but obviously not going that direction now. The engine controversy is going nuts. This engine popped up down the street, and like I always tell you, engines don't pop up around here very often. So it's a Gen 4 5.3, you know, 4-wheel drive tranny, but cheap, $250 for everything. It even has a computer, which is a little different than a Gen 3. These have a little more issues. We'll see how it goes. It's so cheap that even if I keep the tranny and rebuild the tranny 2-wheel drive and sell everything, I'd probably make money and have a free tranny. So that would be nice. But what I'm going to do first, and something you guys should do if you guys are pulling these, is I'm going to pull this wiring harness off. This guy told me the harness was chewed up, and this was what happens a lot whenever guys start digging into these or move them sloppy, is they tear up the harness. So this doesn't stress me out a whole lot, but hopefully there's not a whole lot more areas where it's real bad. It's weird these O2 sensors are all messed up too, but those stress you out a little bit more because your connection needs to be really good so that it reads correct. I can splice in, I solder and do nice joints and everything, but at least the harness is here. Like I said, the price is crazy, so I think we're back on the LS kick. Gen 4s, like I said, it scared me, but it's nice because they're newer, so you can get some with some lower miles. Some of the bummers, like I'm sure all you guys that do LSs know, like it's kind of a bummer they cut this so short because usually there's a bung with the O2 sensor on here. It's nice to have that. You know, some of this is real crusty, but I don't plan on doing power steering. I don't plan on using the AC. For one, I don't think any of that would fit in my frame. I do want to measure, because if it does, obviously I'll keep all that, and then maybe if I spoil myself, I'll run air conditioning for once. These pans are crazy. The pan looks like it has a patch in it, but that's just how they come, which is nuts. At least I have engine mounts on it, which is nice. Hopefully I can reuse those. Hopefully the frame's not too narrow. And I like how these manifolds seem to kick back into the frame. Instead, some of these will dump out, and you'll have to modify them a bunch. Pull that harness off so I don't chew anything else up. Well, finally got the engine off the truck. Last night, late, working on projects inside is awesome. So I pulled all the loom, marked the connections. So this is like how much loom and tape and crap you get off of these harnesses. And hopefully I can get rid of some of this harness also, because like I'm not going to run air conditioning and some other stuff. So, you know, I'm going to lose some weight getting rid of that compressor. So obviously I like to hold on to as much stuff as I can, which is always helpful. You know, even some of this thick wiring is good to hang on to, because that stuff will eat you alive. And then I didn't know about this little ground. I'm not calling it a ground clamp, but this, you know, this is your ground, and it's some kind of bleed off. So hold on to that just in case I need it. But these Gen 4s are quite a bit different than the Gen 3s. I've been watching a ton of wiring videos, just trying to figure out how I'm gonna have to do this. This little computer, transmission, big computer, engine. These also have a body control unit or something like that, body module. I'm not gonna run that, and if you don't run that, you can't run your air conditioning or your cruise control. And there's some other stuff too, but slowly just kind of getting ready to clean up the wiring and see what I need to keep and what I don't need to keep. These also have a different MAP sensor. So luckily the guy had gave me the Gen 3 one that he had, and he gave me the wrong one, so I went back over and grabbed the Gen 4 one. I'm trying to obviously simplify this. I don't want to use the factory fuse block panel giant setup. I want to make my own little setup, so I have to read up on that, because the video I was watching, they were trying to reuse all the old stuff. But as much as I don't want it to look super pretty in there, I can't handle using all that old stuff and making it look hideous in the engine bay. It will still drive me a little crazy. I'm also not going to run those heat shields. If you watched my Gen 3 swap a long time ago, I clean up these little studs and I wrap them. And I know you're not supposed to wrap the cast ones, but to me, it keeps the heat down, which is nice, especially next to your plug wires and all that, and it helps all your wiring. So this is what it's looking like right now. You know, transfer case is off. Another good tip is don't leave this. Always drain this. I don't know why I wasn't thinking it was going to leak that much, but it leaked all the way over here. You know, cleans up okay. I think these intakes look better, and I know obviously the plastic intake is kind of gross, but I think the intakes look better than the Gen 3s. Your fuel rail setup, the only thing that sucks on this is your fuel line coming in, well, your fuel return. You know, this is your regulator, and the vacuum comes in here. I broke one of the clips on there, so hopefully I can just replace the clip and not have to replace the whole line. I really wish all the aluminum didn't look so bad, but I'm also trying to decide, like, I want an aluminum block. Like, I only have this because it was super cheap. I really want an aluminum block, so I'm like, maybe I'll modify this mount, even though I know, like, when an aluminum block comes up, I'm gonna buy the aluminum block one. Or I might even try to just sell the engine and then hold out for the aluminum block. But it'd be nice to get all my wiring set up, use this to like mount in the frame, and then just sell that whole engine off. Because if I'm gonna do a, you know, active fuel management delete, you know, DOD or whatever, delete, I'm going to put a new cam and lifters and all that in it. So it's like, obviously, I only want to work on one engine. So at least I'll have all my stuff. I also don't actually really like these plastic covers. But again, I think these covers look better than the Gen 3s. The Gen 3s just look kind of dumb. I'll show you where I ended. So basically, I cut off the power steering setup down here. This thing goes all the way down and mounts down here. If you remember my 36, that's where I mounted all my coils down here, because now I have a big empty space. So that actually drops 15 pounds. I weighed it. The AC compressor mount setup was 18 pounds. So, you know, a little weight off the front, which is nice. I still want aluminum block. I mean, you know, if I'm talking 18 and 15, well, it's 100 for the aluminum block. So, that's some serious weight in the front of your car. Well, let me show you how this crossmember's going. It's fun TIG welding. I always tell you guys every time I get to TIG weld anything that's thick. It's fun getting to put some heat in it, because you can really let those welds like kind of sit down in there. And obviously, I'm not perfect TIG welder by any means at all, but it's fun. This is what I was saying about reinforcing it. So obviously it's welded. That whole corner was welded, and then I put this plate on afterward, just to tie everything in and support it a little more. I think it's probably overkill, but, you know, like the front end not to blow apart and me die. And this isn't even really the scary part. Really, the scary part is this 1/2-inch plate that's going to go on top. Because it's so thick, it's going to be hard getting good heat into it. But I'm going to bevel it and do a bunch of passes. And then I'm going to reinforce it. But now another thing, I drilled some holes in here. These are just kind of vent holes. Because whenever you box this in, those gases need to be able to go somewhere. So I have holes in each side, and then I'm going to drill a hole up in the bottom in the center. That way the gas can get out, and that way you don't... What happens is whenever you try to close that gas will pop out that last little bit of weld, and it kind of sucks. Weld the plate over here, weld the plate over here, figure out these top plates, and this is going to be real fun to cut out, because 1/2 inches, you know, 1/2 inch. But it's coming along. Everything is in there nice and tight. Like I said, I've been welding everything on my way up. That way it doesn't warp down here, which makes all this off. So I'm trying to get everything lined up the best I can. Obviously it's a alignment and steering. You need it nice. I also left a piece on the back just to help strengthen it and to help with flex this way. And like I said, I'm gonna make little supports, probably once it's in the frame. That way I can make them a little longer and weld it to the frame. These are tacked in, but this is, you know, how my jig looks. I know it doesn't look amazing, but I drilled these holes and left all this a little long. That way I could kind of shave and get that to slide in nice, because I just want all threads to be able to come out. All my washers are in there. If you never welded before, especially anything real hot like this, it's gonna try to, whenever you weld on this side, it'll pull this way. So you got to alternate sides and try to keep it as tight as you can. Like, top hats have a bolt that run through with little spacers like this in here, alignment spacers. So it's not perfect, and they use shims to do your alignment. So obviously I want it as the best I can. But now I'm gonna pull this all out. I need to weld that 1 billion passes to get it strong and thick. You know, it's a 1/2 inch plate, so I beveled it all the way in there. So it's gonna take a long time. I think these end pieces, I don't even need to throw it back up in the jig, because I'm going to see if my brother or my friend will machine me these little kind of like step hats that will slide in and index in the pipe, and then also be my 2-inch outside diameter. That way I don't need it back in the jig. I know that because of the little washers I used in there, I know it's all sitting in the right spot. Like I said, this is obviously going to look better later. I kind of wanted it in place. I was trying to decide if I'm going to like grind like down in here and make like a little shape in here, or just leave it flat. Flat looks a little gross, but again, it's not a show truck, but maybe I'll give it a little like angle in there or something. You know, none of that really matters that much, but we'll see what I feel like. Well, wrap it up today. It's finally off the jig. I'm super excited to get that off the table. My last bit of welding is, I got to do a bunch more welding, a bunch more passes up here, but it's on there enough that I don't think it's going to warp much at all. These are my tabs. Let me see how hot that is. These are going to be my tabs where the rack and pinion mounts. I have them center punched in holes, but the bolts should sit like right on top of here. So I think it's like once it's in there, I don't even think the heads can spin. That kind of worked out nice as far as like it butts straight up to the front of this face. You know, and I have these little cross supports that push back, and then it's tight. It's not like hanging out way off the front of the cross member, which would, you know, I'd have to reinforce it a whole lot more. So obviously a bunch of welding. I kind of about to run out of gas on my welder, so I was trying to get things tacked up, and then I'll burn through my gas hopefully over the weekend, and then I go get a new tank. Rack and pinion sits on there nice. The only thing that's a little bit of a downer is because the mounts on the rack and pinion are offset. It got a little close to here, so I had to kind of like notch out, and so it's the hole kind of sits a little off center on there, but it's fine. It's you know, it is what it is. And like I said, I think I'm gonna like round this out, maybe dip down in here a little and round up around the corner. I don't want like a big ear, but I do kind of maybe want this like not as squared off looking. But yay, I just wish I had a bigger welder. If I had a big MIG welder or any MIG welder, I'd probably just MIG the top just so I can get insane heat in there. That's a narrowed cross member. Obviously I'll show you later once I get my end pieces in. It's welded, and once the end pieces are in, I might even run the little supports. I don't think it's totally needed. I don't, but I'll probably run it just to reinforce things a little bit more. I trimmed up these corners. Like I said, I didn't want this to be a big ear hanging off, but it is a little bit. And so, you know, race savings, but also it just makes it look a little better, more professional. I started welding. Like I said, I ran out of welding gas, so I'll have to wrap this up hopefully tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.